Active FM. Radio has never been better.
How you doing?
What is up? This is the movie show.
On your favorite ORSPS?
Active FM, I'm Sash.
My name's Ryan.
And we are looking at the most underrated film for 2023. No jokes.
That was very,
Big.
yes.
Because it's true. Think about it, Ryan. Think about it. Think about the movies that have come out this year so far, Ryan. And this movie is so underrated.
Been a good, this is a good film.
Oh, it's a brilliant film.
I would definitely recommend you go watch it
Oh, definitely.
with subtitles.
I'm actually sad that this film was not in cinemas.
I think people would have loved it.
They would have. This is one of the first, like Extraction 2 we did
Yeah.
last week. It was a good movie, but I didn't feel sad that it wasn't in cinemas, right? This film, I felt sad that it wasn't in cinemas.
Yeah.
So we are talking about Tetris,
And Apple
the movie.
And Apple TV Plus.
Yes, Apple
bought
TV
the
yes.
whatever rights
So
to it.
it's an Apple Plus original
Exactly.
film. Apple has been bringing out pretty good stuff this year, man.
Yeah.
Like, I
Well, it's
can
a
say
race.
though that this was way better than Ghosted, because Ghosted was also an Apple original, and for me, Ghosted was funny. You know, it was like hey, it was a comedy, you know, romantic comedy. But this film, this was
good
a
film.
film, man. This was a good movie.
And there were a lot of great things to this film. The only thing is that I watched on my phone, and so I didn't have subtitles.
Subtitles.
So
Oh,
some of the
shame.
conversation, I was like, okay, I think we're just gonna work out what I meant. So definitely get the subtitles on.
You need the subtitles. I watched it with subtitles.
But without subtitles, I think you kind of work out exactly
they're
what's
saying.
going on.
But I think they do, like, you know how, like, in a language they'll crack a joke about someone when they're standing right there because, like stuff like that happened, or like they say something and then when the translator translates it, it's completely different. Obviously, so in this film we're set in Soviet Russia for a
Yeah.
lot of the time, hence the Russian, and hence them saying stuff that like would be, or you know, like, so Ryan says something and then I'm like, what did he say? And then like someone else translates it, but translates it completely wrong
Way off.
because
Way
it's
different.
Soviet Russia, so like that but it's not it's not like, okay, wait, I had subtitles so it didn't bother me.
No.
Was it a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so get subtitles.
I still don't know what they said. So
So you should probably watch it a second time around.
I am.
Yeah.
I will watch it for the second time.
I even want to watch it a second time.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the acting of the main actor.
Taron Egerton.
I really enjoyed his
Yeah,
acting.
he was good.
Can I tell you something? I almost had to really look close and be like, wait, is this Leonardo DiCaprio?
Really?
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 There was like because I don't think I've watched a film with this guy before.
Okay.
So at first, like, I knew it wasn't him, but I was like, no, wait, but
This guy's so good.
he was like his moustache and the facial expressions and some of the way that he acted. There were certain things that he did, and I was just like, wow, this guy's
Reminded
quite
you.
loose.
No, he's a very
He's
good
very
actor.
good.
He is a very good actor.
Yeah.
So I do know Taron. I've watched previous films of his. Specifically, the one that I remember absolutely loving was Eddie the Eagle, which I've told you about this film so many times, right?
Yeah.
He goes to the Winter Olympics. Hugh Jackman is in it, and like he competes.
So does he play as Eddie the
He plays as Eddie, yes.
yes,
yes,
huge.
it's him. But his acting is like
I want to watch it now.
I don't know, I can't remember what exactly the actor had, but he had some form of, I don't know if it was anxiety or something, but you know when a person just acts slightly odd, like that's the only way I could explain it. That was his character, and he pulled it off so well. Plus he's been in like a lot of, in fact all of the Kingsman series. I think there's 3 films out.
Oh, wow.
He was in all 3 of
Is
them.
there anything like what he was in this film?
No, he's
So
different.
is he one of those gifted actors?
Yes, plus he I haven't watched it, but in Rocket Man, which was the Elton John biopic,
Oh, right.
he plays Elton John.
Oh, okay.
So, and he was in Sing. In fact, Ryan, I'm pretty sure he's the gorilla in Sing.
That's where I know him from.
He's the gorilla in Sing. Yep,
Wow.
that's him.
Yeah. Okay.
So, this is the crazy
So in other
part.
words, he can actually sing well.
Yeah, I know he can sing.
Is he British?
I think he is British, yes.
Yes, because the guy I know the guy in Sing is British.
Yes, the
I
gorilla.
know. Yes. Wow.
Right?
I've got a new respect for this guy.
No, this guy's
I might
epic.
just have added on. In fact, not might have. I've added on a favorite actor to my list.
No, he is a good actor.
Big-
And he doesn't have a lot of, you know how like you sometimes see these actors that are like in millions of movies. He's
Yeah.
not like that. Like he doesn't have a very big filmography, but like I think the movies that he's in, he puts in like 100%, you know, like and it's not like,
It's like Leonardo DiCaprio.
yeah, it's,
Whatever, when he's in a film, you know he's gonna do something really special.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is.
So I found this very interesting. So Taron Egerton works with a man named Matthew Vaughn, and he's a producer. He has directed films, but he's got a lot of producer credits, and he is one of the producers on this film Tetris. But this is the 5th collaboration between the two of them after Kingsman: The Secret Service 2014, then Eddie the Eagle 2015, then Kingsman: The Golden Circle 2017, and Rocketman 2019. So then it was obviously Tetris
So this
2023.
guy's probably the dude that's like, hey man, you have to use my friend.
Yeah, and you can see that they work nicely together, and and I personally went and actually searched a whole lot of Matthew Vaughn's films because I was quite interested in him. Now, Matthew Vaughn, he's known professionally as Matthew Vaughn. That's not his actual name, but he's an English filmmaker. Now, get this right. Get
there you
this.
go.
This is going to blow your brains out of your head, like right now. He produced films including, are you ready, Ryan? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Wow, so this guy goes back.
Yes, Snatch.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Producer, right?
Producer, yes. X-Men First Class, which was the first one that they went back with the younger, which was a very good X-Men. I enjoyed that X-Men. Also, Kingsman: The Secret Service, obviously Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and then he produced, co-wrote, and directed its prequel, The Kingsman. But then also some other films that he produced only is Fantastic Four 2015, Eddie the Eagle, Rocketman. There's a film called Silent Night, Bloodshot. That was that movie with Vin Diesel, wasn't it?
That's right.
He was an executive producer on that. And then Silent Night is apparently, I looked into it, it's a horror thriller. But I don't know if it's more, you know, you get those films that like A Quiet Place where it is horror thriller, but it's more in the thriller vibes. I don't know if this, because I'd be interested to watch Silent Night,
Maybe.
just to like, because like his other films, I think he's into thrillers though, because Tetris is actually known as an action thriller. Sometimes I even read up that it was a comedy thriller, which I agree with, because it's like a thriller, but it has comedic elements to it.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah. But I was like, wow.
How well did they do with the actors and the actual characters in real life?
Yes. And that was the cool part, was you actually got to see the actual people. So this is, I think one
On
of
the
the
credits.
reasons I love this film is because it's based on a true story. So it's not complete though, it's not the complete true story, but it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
So if you had to put this story in a nutshell, it's how the game Tetris was licensed to the rest of the world. And it was, so Tetris was created in Soviet Russia. That's the man who created it was Russian, and he was living in Soviet Russia.
And if you want to know what he looks like, watch the movie.
There we go.
Pretty much.
But like that doesn't sound like a very phenomenal story
Yeah.
in itself. But the way they told the story
Yeah.
was so good.
Brilliantly done.
It really was so good. And I don't know if you found this, Ryan, but it gave me Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah.
I think it was because number one,
The
it was
80s
set in the
and the
80s.
games.
Number two, the music, especially they used 80s songs.
They had a very Russian, like, it's this very, like, morbid, like, very
yes.
downpressed electronic.
But like the synths and
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
which Stranger Things
Exactly.
has, and then also Stranger
Exactly.
Things also brought in the Russians. So I think that also on top of it,
Oh.
like added to.
They
but
brought in the Russians.
yeah, right. If you need to catch up, Ryan needs to catch up on Stranger Things. All things Stranger Things.
It's a bit boring for me.
No, Ryan, it's good. Stuff you, Ryan.
I'm gonna go watch
Stuff you,
Barbie.
Ryan.
No, I'm
He's
joking.
gonna go watch Barbie instead of Stranger Things.
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Wow. But I actually found this piece of trivia, which I actually thought was quite interesting. So the real Hank Rogers and Alexei Pajitnov. That did it better the first time. Anyway, they reviewed the script, and Rogers said, so Rogers was played by Taron Egerton, that's who he is. He said that much of it was embellished. In other words, it wasn't true. He says it's a Hollywood script, it's a movie, it's not about history, so a lot of what's in the movie never actually happened. But the filmmakers did ask a bunch of questions about what it was really like, and they tried their best to accept our changes when they had to do it with authenticity. But when it started getting into like creative flourishes like the car chase and all that, it was like, okay, now it's all them, we couldn't change anything. So and like the car chase, the Sasha, that KGB agent, she wasn't real. Even the other KGB agent that wanted the bribe, he wasn't real.
But they said that he kind of represented Russia
at that time.
How the whole communist, you're buying Russia.
Yeah. So, but I still think it's a clever way to tell a true life story. Because like I get where they're coming from.
But what was cool was what was true was the fact that all three of those owners, or the people that were buying the publishing rights, were really there at the same time.
Yes, and
together.
existed. Yes,
exactly. And the whole thing where they had to change the computer. What was a computer?
The definition of
the whole
a
definition,
PC
and that
game,
was true. So I'd say that they kind of up and they made Russia like the enemy in this one, like the communist. Where in the real life story, the enemy was these three guys trying to really rush towards buying the publishing rights for this.
For Tetris.
Like all of that before that was all true.
Yeah. And I don't know if you put this together. I didn't put it together. In doing research, I was like, what? Robert Maxwell. So there was
oh yeah?
do you know who he is,
Maxwell.
Do you know who he is?
Like the whole Maxwell family.
Yes, he's the father of Ghislaine Maxwell. I was like, hey! For those of you who don't know who Ghislaine Maxwell is, Ghislaine was found guilty of child sex trafficking in connection with Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly.
So her father is in the film, and her brother.
There they are.
She's like, oh, she isn't in the film.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, but they really do put them in a bad light in the film. I must be honest. Like they really put the Maxwells in like a really bad light. And obviously he basically went bankrupt and started like feeding into his company's pension fund. And then I think he ended up dying he was standing on the edge of his cruise boat, of his yacht, and then he fell over, and they assumed that he had a heart attack.
But they don't know if he was assassinated.
Yeah, or something else fishy, excuse the pun, happened, and then so that was very interesting. But I didn't click until after doing research. I was like, what?
Wait a minute.
No way. The one thing that irritates me, this just irritates me. Like, why? Why do we have to do this? So apparently, to prevent the project from being thought of as a kids movie. And the reason that it would be thought of as a kids movie is because it was rated U for no material likely to offend or harm. So in other words, there is nothing in this film that they had to rate. There wasn't any violence. There wasn't any
sex. So it was
sex.
a great film.
Yes. So, but then what happens is people automatically think, oh, kids film, which is so dumb. But because of them not wanting it to be rated U, that's the British equivalent to a G rating. Noah Pink intentionally, he was the writer, he intentionally added profanity to the script so that it wasn't rated U. That's why they're swearing.
Why would you do that?
Because they don't want it to be known as a kids movie.
But it's not a kids film.
Exactly. Who said that when there's no rating, it's a kids?
In fact, kids won't even enjoy this film.
No, they won't enjoy this film.
They'll fall asleep or
but I'm just like,
go play outside.
Is that the world we live in? That's the world that we live in. That people think that.
In other words, what he's saying is that he didn't want people to watch it. I mean, and kids to watch it.
He didn't want it to be classified as a kids film.
But it's not a kids film.
No. It's not. And it's a good film. And I didn't need the profanity. Let's be honest. The profanity is never needed. It's not like
that's why to watch it on my phone, people.
Oh, really?
That's exactly why to watch it on my phone. We were gonna watch.
You could have not watched it on your phone.
I could have watched it on full screen, put the subtitles on. You messed it up for me, man. How could you do that? Do you know what it feels like? I still don't know what happened in this part. What was the name? The chick, the KGB agent?
Sasha.
Sasha.
How can you forget her name, Ron? How can you forget her name? So one time, my name is the name of a guy.
I wanted to make sure. I'm like, wait.
Okay.
Am I sure?
Sasha.
Yeah.
Like the Russians say
it. What did she say at the end when she arrested that other guy? Because I felt like there was a punchline. There was something there that was like, wow. Like it just happened, and then they arrested him, and then it was like...
I can't remember now. But it was a punchline. I agree with you.
So wasn't she working with him?
She was working with him, and then he because they were KGB agents, and then he went out and insulted her and called her a prostitute, and then she was like, oh hell, oh no, and then she heard that he was like, what about my money? And then she was like, oh, he's being bribed, he's getting money, and then she was like, so she went to what's his name?
In my mind, I just kind of
Gorbachev.
I just kind of figured that at the end of the day,
They thought they were speaking in Russian. Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, shame mine.
I just kind of figured that that because he did sell something to the USA, that you were selling off a Russian thing, which was the whole communist thing was something that was I don't know, government owned. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
so the government owned everything.
But
yeah.
now he was.
Yeah, no, he was taking
In other
money.
words, he was actually stealing from.
Yes.
From
Yes, that's why he always. That's why he
That's
wanted what was it called, Algorg, which was the company. He wanted Algorg. He wanted them to take the Maxwell's offer, which was actually the less offer, and then everyone was like, why? Because he was getting
Because
money
he
from
had-
Maxwell. Yeah.
there was corruption involved.
Yeah.
over there.
So if you don't know what Tetris is.
Go shoot yourself.
No, it's a video game, right? And it was made in 1984, and it was the best-selling video game of all time from 1993 until 2020, when it was surpassed by Minecraft.
That was even with Mario Brothers.
Yes. So it says, however, it should be noted that count includes all ports of the game, which vary technically from one version to the next. The now defunct mobile version developed by EA had alone sold over 100 million copies, making it the third best-selling game after Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5. The Tetris franchise as a whole has sold nearly 500 million copies, making it the second best-selling game franchise after Mario.
That's hectic, eh? That's very good.
Crazy.
It is a cool game.
It is a cool
Can
game.
play for hours.
And I think what's cool about the game is it's not a kid's game. So I think Mario can
I've seen more adults playing
Tetris. Yeah. So I found this quite interesting. Being a non-gamer, the Nintendo president Hiroshi
That guy.
Yamauchi. I'm sorry to all
He's
you
in the
game
movie,
lovers
and
out
that's
there.
what he looks like.
Yeah, go look at. So the Nintendo president, basically, he wasn't a game. He was a non-gamer, which is insane. But anyway, he would give the game to his superstar programmer, and then they give his name, Shigeru someone, and the creator, who was the creator of their most popular franchise, which was Super Mario. So the guy that created Super Mario, yeah, that guy, the Nintendo president would give him the games to test and see what he thought. Several days later, he confirmed to the president of Nintendo that it was a great game, and when the president asked why, he said, because even your secretaries and accountants are playing it. It's crazy, right?
You see?
That was yeah. And get this. So early in the movie, Hank talks about how when he sleeps, he can still see Tetris pieces falling in his dreams. This is actually a real phenomenon called the Tetris effect. The term was coined by journalist Jeffrey Goldsmith in 1994 to describe when something that one focuses on for extended periods of time starts appearing in their thoughts, perceptions, and dreams. And I know, chess players will often, they even showed this in the Queen's Gambit, which was a series about chess, how at night she would go to bed and she'd literally picture this big chessboard and she would be figuring out moves. But it obviously also has happened to people with Tetris, because it is a strategic game in a way, so they'd still see these Tetris pieces falling. That's weird.
I know for myself, when we've worked on films for long, editing,
True.
eventually the lines.
Yeah,
you
movie
start
lines
speaking
stay with you.
The movie line lingo.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. No, but this film was really, really good. And I loved how they would often switch to the 8-bit arcade style.
Yeah.
So they would literally take the real life footage and then recreate it in the arcade style. And the car chase for me was so cool, because every time the car hit something or there was impact, the car would then turn into this 8-bit car. I know, it was so cool. It was really cool.
I like the car chase.
Yeah, the car chase. And I was freaking out the thriller elements of
I thought that.
oh, flip, they're not going to
I
get
thought
out, they're
someone
not
was
going to get
finished,
out.
and then they did, and then I was like,
You're just okay. Phew, they got out.
Yes.
They got out of Soviet Russia. And then also I liked how they turned the 80s music into the Russian versions.
Yeah.
So like they
With
sang,
the singing.
yeah. So they sang the I need a hero, but
yeah.
it was in Russian. Yeah, that was cool. It was very cool.
It was a great.
It was a good film. This was a good film, people. Go watch Tetris. I almost said go watch Hero. I don't know where. It's because of the song. Go watch Tetris, people.
Hero's also good. Hero 6.
I haven't watched that.
What's the latest out now? Hero 6? Hero 7? Anyway, great film. You should go see that. Sometime.
After Barbie Run.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but that's been Tetris. It was a good film. Go watch it. It's been the movie show.
On your favorite RSPS.
We'll see you next week. Peace.
Cheers.